All right. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whenever you are having your time to start your science class. I hope you guys have been having a great week, and I hope that we are figuring this all out. So today we are going to move on to the next part of our lesson. So yesterday we opened up, on Tuesday we talked about, you guys did a unit pretest. Yesterday we actually started the unit, and so today we are going to continue on with that. As you can see, I do have Amplified open on the screen, so today we are going to be mostly doing annotation. And so yesterday you guys should have watched the video on Amplify as well as done your looked at the cards and done your comparing and organizing, and then uploaded a doc telling me how you organize them on Google Classroom. And so you're going to use all that information today while you're annotating to help you make connections, as well as you're going to use that throughout this entire unit, because remember that we are the paleontologist, okay? So yesterday we learned what a paleontologist was. So it's someone who takes evidence and compares fossils and other types of organisms from past and present. And so we are going to figure out where a whole point of this unit of this chapter is figuring out where that fossil that I showed you yesterday in the slides should go in the museum. So we are learning how to look at the bones of that fossil and figure out what species is it part of. Where do we need to put it with? Does it need to go with mammals, or does it need to go with the fish? Does it need to go with the reptiles? We're going to figure all this out. And so you should have done some of your vocab yesterday. And so today on your vocab, you are going to have you're going to have 2 more words to work on. And one of them is shared structure. So let me see if I can find that real fast on your Amplified that I can show it to you. No. Oh, I must have passed it. Well, evolution is one of them, so go ahead and write this down. Evolution is the process by which species adapt to the environmental changes over a very long time. So what this means is that evolution is just saying that we adapt to the world, right? So you guys should have learned already about species who survive and species who don't. And we can talk about grasshoppers. Maybe at one point there is a bunch of tan grasshoppers and then a bunch of green grasshoppers. Now, if these grasshoppers live in the desert, the tan ones are going to survive more and the green ones won't, because they're easy to see, so the prey is going to catch them. So over time they are going to evolve, which, they're going to go through evolution, and there's going to be more tan grasshoppers because the green grasshoppers are going to die more, so they're not going to be able to produce more offspring. So that would be an evolution. So that would be the process by which species adapt to the environmental changes. Now, if those grasshoppers were in the rainforest, it'd be totally different, right? Because there's more green than there is tan. So the other word, I think I remember where I saw it, here you go, is shared structure. Go ahead and write this one down as well. Shared structure is a body structure in 2 or more species that features the same parts. For example, the same bones. So a shared structure in different types of species, you could have cats and dogs. Those are 2 different species, but they might have shared structures, right? If we looked at their bones, they might look very similar, right? They both walk on all 4s. Their backs, instead of being like ours where they go horizontal, they usually go ours go vertical, theirs goes horizontal. Maybe they have similar vertebrae, maybe their paws look the same. So these are shared structures, a body structure in two or more species that features the same parts. But it can get even a little more weirder than that, and the shared structures can actually be in parts of different species that you would never have thought to compare. So if we go back, you guys are going to do this warm-up, but I want to just touch base with it. Right here you have the human hand as well as the cat hand. And as you can see, they've highlighted different things. Now, the best way to think about the human arm is 1, 2, many. Okay, so I'm going to write in this box really fast just so you could see it. And put 1, 2, oops, 1, 2, many. Add some commas in there. Okay, you'll probably want to write this down. So to remember the human arm, and as you can see, what I mean by that is the top of our arm has 1 bone. Then our forearm has 2 bones, right? The red and the blue. But then our hand has many bones, right? Think about our fingers. There's so many bones in there. But then if you look at the cat arm, there's 1 bone, there's 2 bones, and then there's many bones. So even though we don't walk on our hands, right, like cats do, if you look at them, they're very similar. So when you are working on this after this video, I want you to go into more description. Don't just write what I said. Describe all the ways in which the human arm and the cat's front leg are similar. All right? Another shared structure body. And then, so now we're going to talk more about your annotation. So we are going to do some reading and annotating about how you are like a blue whale. So let's do some active reading guidelines real fast. I want you to think carefully about what you read. Pay attention to your own understanding. As you read, annotate the text to make a record of your thinking. Highlight challenging words and add notes to record questions and make connections to your own experience. Examine all visual representation carefully. Consider how they go together with the text. After you read, discuss what you have read with others and help you better understand. So I'm going to read the first 2 paragraphs with you guys, and we're going to go over if, I'm sure some of you have already used Amplified, so you might remember how to annotate. Some of you might have forgotten, or some of you may have never actually done it. So we're going to do the first couple paragraphs together, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm looking for. Now, because we are doing this from home, I know that I can't see you guys. Actually, I can't see you guys, and you guys can't. You guys can't actually use partners. Maybe some of you guys have Zoom together, and if you want to, after you do your annotations, if you want to Zoom with someone, or maybe you guys have FaceTime or whatnot, if your parents allow it, make sure you get permission. Then you guys can discuss things that you guys talked about in your article. But because not all of us are comfortable doing that and not all of us do that, what I'm going to do is on Google Classroom underneath our assignment. I know that some of you guys have already figured out in your very first assignment about Zoom roles, I had you guys comment. So I'm going to use those comments as our discussion for after we read this and after you get done with your Amplified. And I'll go more into detail about that after. So to get to your article, you'll be on Amplify. You'll do your warm up, you'll click next, and then it'll take you here. You click Amplify Library. Sorry guys, with everyone on internet, my internet is really slow. I don't know about your guys's, but it drives me crazy. Okay, so let's go over a few things. As you notice right here, the little speaker, if you click this, it will read it to you. I use that all the time. Almost when I go through my schooling. If I can get an audiobook of my book, I do, because it helps me to focus more so that while I'm reading and being read to, and I notice more things. Okay, so let's talk about this and let's annotate how you are like a blue whale. Well, that first is a very weird title, so I'm going to go ahead and highlight this. All right, and I'm going to make a note. So we've been talking about how to compare bone structures and all that. But how am I like a blue whale? First of all, a whale is in the water. Okay, so I'm going to put this question. What do me and the blue whale have in common? I'm going to put, we have been talking about bones, right? So I'm starting to think about everything that we've been talking about. So if we've been talking about bones, maybe this is about bones. So that's just a note that I'm going to make as soon as I read this. Let's move down. So blue whales are mammals and must come to the ocean's surface to breathe. Well, I have to breathe air, so that's kind of similar. I'm going to actually make a note. Guys, anytime you make a thought, I want you to make a note of it, okay? Put both breathe air. All right. So if anybody tells you blue whales are the largest fish on Earth, they don't know what they are talking about. Blue whales may live in the ocean with fish, but they aren't fish at all. There are many important differences between the body structures of whales and fish. Let me pause. Let me read this. Body structure. Here's another chance to go over your vocab. So you put a part of an organism, for example, one or more bones. So I'm just going to go ahead and highlight this. Again, another one I'm going to highlight. There we go. Make a note that this is my vocab of the day. I'm just going to hashtag vocab. Okay, and then I can click on this, it goes away. And as you notice right here, there's a little check mark. Just so you guys know, I will see all of your annotations. And if there is not a check mark above the vocab or highlighted words, I'm going to know that you did not look at it. And that's gonna take some points off your guys' grade. Okay. Fish are covered in shiny scales, while whales have smooth skin. Fish lay eggs, while whales give birth to live young. Fish fins are made of many tiny bones, but whale flippers are supported by just a few bones. In fact, whales are mammals just like dogs, elephants, and humans. Blue whales share many more body structures with you than they do with fish. Whoa! Let's go ahead and highlight this. And I'm going to make a note that this is what the title is talking about, right? And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at this paragraph and I am going to summarize it. And I expect to see summarizations in your guys' annotations. I don't expect you to annotate every paragraph. There might be some paragraphs that you think go together, but I expect to see at least 2 summarizations. At least, okay? It's the main word, at least. You can do more summarization. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and highlight this whole passage right here. And I'm going to make a note, okay? And I'm going to put hashtag summary. And I'm going to start. So, kind of read over this real quick. There are many important differences between the body structures. Blue whales share more body structures with you than do fish. So in this summary, I'm going to put blue whales are more like humans than fish. We are both mammals and we are both mammals, period. Then I'm going to put their bone structure does not match a fish bone structure. Or I should say body structure, right? Because that's our vocab. So let me change that to body structure. We want to try to use our vocab so that we can get used to it. Body structure. Period. And then I'm going to save it. Alright, so let's move on. Just as whales and fish look similar but are actually very different, humans and blue whales look different but have a surprising amount in common. Mother whales produce milk for their babies, just as human mothers do. Like humans, whales have lungs instead of gills. Oh, that's interesting. Whales can't breathe underwater. They must come to the surface to breathe. And if you look at the bones in a human arm and the bones in a blue whale flipper, you can see that they fit together in similar ways. Whoa. All right, back up. Gotta highlight that. Because right here, they are telling me that our, arms and their flippers are similar body structures. So right here, I have made a connection from the passage to a vocab word, so I'm going to put hashtag connection. Save. You can see that they fit together in similar ways. Blue whales even have leg bones, just like humans. This is something that we've got to talk about. No, because this is very interesting. And I'm going to put hashtag discuss, because this is something I want to bring in the Google discussion. However, in whales, these bones are so tiny that the skin, fat, and muscles of the whale's body hide them. You might not call them real legs, but they are leftovers from a time when whales' ancestors had legs and walked on land. Ancestors? A related organism from a previous generation. Oh. So this is talking about evolution. Remember we talked about evolution a little bit ago, and it is one of your vocab words for tonight. So a related organism from a previous generation. So right here, I am going to go ahead and highlight this whole sentence because I'm going to make a note. This is talking about evolution. Again, the hashtag vocab. Save. Okay, so now let's make a summary about this too, right? So we're just going to go ahead and we are going to highlight this whole thing again. Whoa, too far. I'm going to highlight it and, oops, that's not what I meant to do. Oh, now I have to do it again. Okay, so I obviously need some, oh, here we go. I'm going to highlight it in yellow. And then I want to make a note. And I'm going to put hashtag summary. And now I'm going to summarize this. So what did we learn in this section? Okay, so we learned that whales have similar body structures, so whales have similar, we'll be more specific because we kind of learned that in the last summary, so we'll put have similar arm body structures to humans. They also breathe air like us and produce milk for their young. Period. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and put whales have similar arm, body structures, and others. Compared to humans. All right, I'm going to save that. Okay, so the rest of this you will read on your own. And I want you guys to make sure that when you see pictures or little graphs like this, I want you to try and make sure that you are finding ways to connect these pictures with things that are in the text, okay? So if you're reading, if you look at the picture and then you read something in the text, make a note, hey, this connects to the picture. This is what the picture is talking about. You see vocab. Now the reason why I used hashtags is because later on I can come up here and I can say, okay, so I need to go to the Google Classroom now and I need to put an input in the comments of something to discuss. So what are some things that I thought we should discuss? So I'm going to put hashtag discuss and boom. Right here, I made a note. This is interesting. We should discuss this. And I'll click on it and it'll take me to it. All right, and then I also put hashtag summary. So now I can go through and read my summaries. If somebody says something and I'm like, I don't remember that, well, let me go and read my summaries real quick. That way you don't have to reread the whole article. Maybe you had a question, and I don't think I had a question on these last ones, but if you did, you could use hashtag question, and then your questions would pop up right here. Okay? So really fast, let me go over a few more things. We went over the guidelines. Okay, so discussing annotations. I gave you a few already so that you could use discussion, questions, summary, hashtag share is another one, hashtag discussed. Maybe if you did have the chance to Zoom or talk with a fellow classmate and you guys did discuss it, then you could put discussed and then maybe you can put that in the comments. Hey, Mrs. GD, you know, we were able to, me and so-and-so were able to discuss this and this is something that we discussed. Maybe you want to make sure you present something instead of putting share or discuss. Okay, you can use whatever hashtags make sense to you as long as they are school appropriate. And they have to make sense, okay? If I see your, remember, I can see all of your annotations. If you have some hashtags that don't make any sense, and I can't figure out why you would use that hashtag, then I'm going to tell you, hey, please explain this to me, and if it's inappropriate, then you get a phone call home. Or I might just send you a message saying, I don't understand your hashtags, can you maybe use some of the ones that we discussed? If I do see inappropriate comments or hashtags, I will be calling home. And we don't want to do that, guys, okay? We want to keep this clean and school appropriate. All right, so after this video, you'll come on to Amplify, you'll do your warm-up, you'll do your annotation, and then, see, so this is what you'll see. You'll see your guidelines, next activity. Here again is your discussing annotations. And then afterwards, this is why it's important, because see, now I can see all my annotations, and I can click on them, right? And then over here is, what is something about the text that you discussed with a partner? Well, you didn't discuss it with a partner, but you can tell me something that you think that we need to discuss. Or you could put on there what you put in the what you're going to put in the Google Classroom comments. All right, we'll save and continue. And then here's another preview of evolution, the process by which species adapt environmental changes over a very long time. Go ahead and update that. And I'm going to hit next activity. And the next activity, I believe, is the simulation. So you'll go through and you'll do that. Then you'll hit next activity. It brings you to your homework, which also has to do with the simulation. So don't think you can skip it because this is something you have to turn in. All right, for the simulation on both this page and the previous page, you just click on the link and it takes you there. All right, guys, so again, you are going to, after this video, you will go into Google Classroom again. You will click on your next assignment, which will take you, will have a link to Amplify. You'll go through Amplify, you'll do your annotations. After that, I want you guys to leave comments in the discussion, I want you to leave a comment underneath the assignment of something that you think we should discuss. Something you found interesting, maybe it's a question that you have, maybe it's something that you connected to what we have previously learned. Whatever you want to, remember again, make sure it has to do with this unit and make sure it is school appropriate. So go ahead and get on that, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. If you need help or have any other questions, please email me, leave a comment, a private comment, or whatever. Go ahead and feel free to get in touch with me in any way. All right, thanks, guys.